Hello guys. So on the community post, we conducted this one poll that how would you rate your mental health while you're preparing for the examination or giving the examination. More than 50% of the students, they said that their mental health is not that great. So in this video, we are going to be discussing mental health. We are going to discuss what mental health issues most of the students face, what is the cause of it, what is the effect of it on the preparation and your result, and finally, how can you cure all of this? So it is coming from my own experience personally as well as my experience with the mentees. Now try to imagine this. Let's say you have to run a 100-meter race, and let's say one of your leg is broken. You can't really run that fast. You can walk, but not that fast. Versus there is another person who also has to compete with you in that same 100-meter race, but he is absolutely normal. He does not have an injury. So now who's going to win? Obviously, the other person who does not have any injury, he is going to win the race. Why? Because he can run faster than you, because you have an injury in the leg. It is exactly the same way how mental health also operates. In your examination, you need your mind, you need your brain. That is how you're going to study and understand on the concepts and learn them and then reproduce them. If in your mind itself there is some deficiency, you're undergoing some sort of stress, there is mental health issues, then obviously you won't be able to perform as much as someone else who has better mental health. And this is something which is very common these days. So it's important you understand what are these issues, what causes them, how it affects your preparation, and what are its cures. So make sure you watch this video till the end. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video with your friends, and please share your comments also. I would love to read them and reply to them. Let's start. First, we are going to talk about the types of mental health issues that you can face. Trust me, every single one of them that I'm going to be discussing is something which I have personally faced myself, and I have seen my mentees face as well. And I've overcome this also, and I've helped many people overcome this also. So the first type is burnout. What is burnout? Burnout, as the name says, you are exhausted completely, and there is no motivation left to keep working. There is no energy left to keep working. So when you have hustled too much for your examination, maybe in your coaching, along with that your preparation, then exam, then pressure of passing the examination, all of that mental stress together with actual work, without taking much break. You have continuously worked and worked and worked, and you have not given your mind enough break to recover from all of that stress. Then what happens is, after a point, the brain just gives up. Okay, you just burn out. That is your mind's way of telling you that, listen, you have not given me any break. Now I just don't have any capacity to keep on going. So then what happens is you just don't feel like studying. You don't enjoy the studies. You just don't want to study. You're not motivated. You even don't like the degree. You don't consider even the fact that you have studied so much in the last few months and you have invested so much time and energy and money, because your brain had just given up. When you're facing burnout, then even though you know you're supposed to study, you know you're supposed to be preparing for that interview, you know you should be upskilling, etc., but your mind is just not supporting you because your mind is exhausted. You have been too hard on yourself all this while, and you now need a break. Even if you don't want a break, you need a break. The second type of mental health issues that a lot of students face is depression. It's high time that we start talking about this matter. Now, depression is a common term these days. You understand that there is something like that, but most people don't exactly understand how it operates. Many people think depression and sadness is same. It's not the same. Okay, so sadness is temporary. Sadness is something which every human being faces. Okay, sadness is something that's if something bad happens, you will feel a little worrisome about it, sad about it. But if someone helps you out with it, maybe someone gives you some motivation, or maybe someone gives you a big gift, they give you a trip, they give you an ice cream or a chocolate, or you watch something online, then it is going to fade away. Right? That is how sadness operates. But when we talk about depression, it is a prolonged state of being. Okay, so depression accumulates over a long period of time, and then once it sets down, then it continues also for a good amount of time unless it is treated. So in depression, there is constant sadness. In depression, there is no motivation to get up from the bed, even do the basic chores like eating food or taking a shower or going out or talking to anyone. There is no motivation even for the basic things. In this particular state, even if the entire wealth of the world is given to the person, he might still feel the same way. Even if a huge trip is given, even if the degree is given to a person, they might still feel the same way. Okay, so this is different. This is a mental health issue. Another type of mental health issue that happens is anxiety or panic attacks. So see, depression is something which is a constant state of being. But panic attack or anxiety, it is not a constant state of being, but it is something which suddenly happens. And then suddenly a person becomes out of breath. There are so many thoughts that go on in their mind, so many fearful thoughts about past and the future, that they are unable to operate. They are not able to make any decision. They're not able to do any action in real life, because in their mind there are way too many thoughts happening, and they feel like the world is collapsing. Okay, the sky is going to fall, the earth is going to shatter. It is that kind of a feeling. Okay, it starts, and then maybe after a couple of hours it is going to fade away, or maybe after a couple of days it is going to fade away. The effects of this kind of anxiety attack or panic attack also reflects in your body. So a student might feel that their heartbeat is racing, they're not able to breathe properly, or they might have indigestion, or their stomach might get upset, etc. Another type of issue that students might face is prolonged insecurity. Now, I'm not sure if this can be categorized as a mental health issue, but I'm going to put forward my views and my experience on this. So see, everybody is equal, I believe. However, sometimes out of experience, or sometimes out of our own mind suggesting us something, or even because of your result, consistently if a student has failed in an examination, or even once if they have failed, etc. Because of these circumstances, sometimes the confidence of a person drops. They might start feeling insecure. And once this feeling of insecurity starts, it is a prolonged insecurity. Once in a while, the student might start feeling confident if they see a video like this, or if someone gives them a motivation or a boost of confidence. But underlying all of that, there is constant insecurity. Constantly, they're comparing themselves with someone else. Constantly, they're feeling less than someone else. Now, the thing about insecurity is that it just doesn't stop when we pass the exam or when we get the result. Sometimes when this insecurity is triggered and it is constantly there underlying our words, underlying our thoughts, then sometimes it continues even after we pass the exam. Even when we enter the job world, even when we enter the real life, we start having a family, we think we are less than others. We keep comparing ourselves with others. So this insecurity is something which is underlying a lot of the other mental health issues also. And honestly, this insecurity is not a real thing. It is created by our mind. It is created because of our own experiences with the world. The way we get the result, the way people treat us in our failures, in our successes, etc. Right? Actually speaking, everybody is equal. Actually speaking, everybody is made the same way, and so everybody is capable of achieving whatever they aim to achieve. But this insecurity is something which kind of blocks our potential. Now let's discuss the different causes of these mental health issues. If you're able to understand the causes, then you will be able to prevent these mental health issues, and maybe you can help someone else also in preventing them. Okay, and preventing is way better than cure, because once the mental health deteriorates, recovering takes a long period of time. It takes a lot of mental work. So it's much better if you can prevent it at the cause itself, at the root itself. See, the most prominent cause is that there are a lot of impressions in our mind, and we don't clean those impressions regularly. It may be possible that we are not getting enough time to clean those impressions, or we are not in the habit of cleaning those impressions. What I mean by that, imagine there is a room. Okay, every day you clean the room. Okay, and so it is all neat and tidy. Everything is organized. Everything is in place. Okay, but let's assume every day this room gets dirty. So every single day you try to clean the room, but then again it gets dirty. Okay, so if you regularly clean the room, it stays organized. However, if you don't clean the room one day, then those cobwebs are going to increase. The dirt of the clothes or maybe the books, it is going to increase. Okay, so if you clean it after 1 week, it will take more time. If you clean it after 1 month, the clutter will be even more, and you will need more and more time to clean it up. So it's the same with our mind also. In the mind also, let's say one day something happens, there is going to be a thought or an impression which you will have, and then you need to process it. But often we don't have time for ourselves, so we don't process it, or processing is sometimes too hard, and so we don't process it, and then one by one, these thoughts keep on piling over one another, and then eventually it becomes a huge mountain. We don't exactly know what is bothering us because there are so many things that we have not processed which have built up, and now it becomes a huge lot of fear and insecurity and anxiety. For example, let's say a person is starting to study. Okay, suddenly they see that someone who's their friend, they are studying more or they're studying less. So they compare with them. They don't process this feeling. It's a small comparison. This thought stays in their mind. They don't process it. They move on with their life. They go into denial. Okay, then maybe online they see a video which tells them that they should be getting an All India rank. But they've never thought about an All India rank. But now suddenly there is a pressure that they should be getting All India rank. Otherwise they're not good enough. So this pressure creeps in. They don't process it. They just go into denial. They just think that probably they want an All India rank and they move on with their life. Maybe one day their parents or their relatives, they say something to them. Okay, that you should get this much and this much package. That you should complete the course in these many years. That you should clear the exam in 1 attempt, 2 attempts, etc. Now this is again a thought that gives you pressure. You don't process it. Again it piles on. Someday, let's say life just happens. So there is a breakup. Or maybe you have an injury. So this one by one, things just keep piling on and we don't process our emotions over the period of time. There is a clutter of emotions, and then that eventually has a possibility of leading into mental health problems. Now let's talk about some ways how we collect these negative impressions. The first is solitude. So over the period of time, 4 or 5 months, mostly serious students would just sit down and study in one single room. They don't have much interaction with friends. Many of the friends are even lost because of the studies, because you don't have time to go for a movie or you don't have time to go to some birthday celebration. So then what happens is over the period of time you become alone, right? So this solitude can become a factor causing anxiety, stress, depression, etc. The next thing is that sometimes we just don't have time for self-healing. Okay, so like I said, the room requires daily cleaning for things to be organized. Same way, our mind also needs daily healing. You need time to sit with yourself as your own best friend, listen to yourself and give counseling to your own self. Probably you need some meditation, probably you need some guidance from someone else. But these things require time. And often when we are studying, when we are preparing, we don't have time for ourselves. Next is unrealistic expectations. Maybe you have limited time, but you want to complete this fat book, you want to complete coaching also, you want to give mocks also, you want to do exam papers also. But maybe currently your mind and your body, they are used to studying only 6 hours. So then if you aim for this, but you're studying this much, then there is going to be a difference between it. And this friction, this difference is going to create stress in our minds. Next is many students, they have lack of faith. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in the universe. They don't believe in themselves. Okay? They don't believe in the process of hard work. If you're doing everything right, if you're doing all the steps correctly, according to someone who else has also passed the examination, then you will also pass the exam. Eventually, if you keep improving yourself, you will pass the exam. So having that faith in yourself or the process or maybe God or universe, that releases us from stress. But many students, they don't have it. Another reason could be not having any support. Now, it may be possible that your friends, your teachers or your parents even, they are not that supportive. Many of you might be blessed with supportive parents, supportive friends who encourage you, who ask you to do better, who believe in you. But for many students, that is not the case. When you have no one to go and talk to, no one to share your feelings with, no one to share the pressure with, then again that causes imploding of our own emotions inside our mind. Another reason could be not being connected to yourself or true to yourself. For example, I'll give you my example. So I was something way more on an artistic side. I used to draw really well. I used to sing really well. I used to dance really well. I was in sports. I was definitely a good student also, but my inclination was towards art, towards sports. Okay, but because I had to make my parents proud, I was also studying, and by chance I was also a good student. Okay, but then later on when I had to do CA, I had to leave all that art. I had to leave all the sport part that was relating to me. I just had to focus on my studies. Okay, so sometimes this happens. It may be possible that when you are studying, when you are doing the course, you might not be made for the course. You might have different talents. You might have different inclinations. And you might be in denial. You might be forcing yourself so much into doing this course and you might be killing that real self of yours. Of course, you can clear this course also. So I also became a CA. I also became a CS. I also got the All India rank. But then that can create a lot of stress. You have to remember who you really are. So if your inclination is towards this course, great for you. But if your inclination is towards something else and you have to do this course because of whatever reasons, then at least you should remember who you really are. And you should accordingly have realistic expectations from yourself. Next possible reason of stress is comparison. Now, this comparison can come from parents. Often parents compare siblings or your children with Sharma ji ka beta. Often this comparison can come from teachers. Sometimes teacher favors a couple of students. Often social media promotes, or we have hyped up this concept of All India rank, of passing in first attempt, etc. So those things can create a lot of pressure for you. When someone else passes the exam, they're going for convocation, they're getting a job, and we see this on social media, it makes us question ourselves. We compare ourselves with those people. So that overstimulation from social media, excessive information that we receive online or externally, that can of course cause a lot of disturbance in our own mind. These are a lot of noises, and when there are so many noises around ourselves, then often we are not able to listen to the voice of our own instinct, our own conscience. Another reason for stress could also be eating a lot of processed food. Bear with me, but when we eat a lot of processed food, this is basically chemicals. And when we intake these chemicals, could be processed food, could be alcohol, could be even cigarettes, etc. So those things, when they go in our body, we don't realize it, but there are chemical changes that happen in our body which affect our hormones. It is proven. And these changes in our hormones, they affect our moods and they affect our stress levels. Let's move forward. Let's talk about the effects of having mental health issues. Firstly, it is lack of concentration. So when you're trying to study, you might not be fully focused in your study because there are 1,000 other thoughts that are going on in your mind. Second is you might have lack of motivation. Next crazy side effect is mood swings. So if someone comes to you, they talk to you, you might burst out on them because of the mental health issues. Body is also affected. That when there is a lot of stress, then there is constipation that happens in the stomach, or there is diarrhea that happens. Okay, or sometimes there is headache that happens. Now, different ways in which you can manage your mental health is, first of all, meditation. Okay, now in detail, how you have to meditate is something which I've already discussed in one video. You can check it out here somewhere in the I button and also in the description box below. You can learn meditation. If you practice meditation on a daily basis, then this is going to help as a cleanser. Just like how our body has an immune system, and if you just let your body be, automatically the body is going to heal itself. Same way is our mind also. If you just let your mind be at a relaxed mode on a daily basis, then automatically it is going to heal. Automatically it is going to clear out all the disturbances. Automatically your concentration is going to increase. Next is you'll have to learn the right way of talking to yourself. You'll have to do some sort of mind management. Let's say you have a difficulty, then how do you deal with it? Okay, whether you go in denial or whether you say the same things over and over again. I'm bad, I'm insecure, I'm not good enough. You say these kind of things, or whether you comfort yourself. You find a reason and then you try to find a solution. Okay, so the way you talk to yourself, the kind of thoughts that you give to yourself is something that you will have to relearn. You'll have to learn to motivate yourself. With respect to self-talk, I have one video on the channel. I would love to recommend it to you. I'm going to put it again here in the I button and also in the description box below. You can check it out. Next is that you will have to learn to take the right kind of input for your mind. You will have to stop listening to negative people, toxic people. So in your life, if you have any negative, toxic people, could be your family members, could be your teachers, could be even your friends who keep telling you that you are not good enough. You will have to stop listening to them if you can't eliminate them. Same way from social media also, if there are certain negative influences you are getting, you're constantly comparing yourself, you can just eliminate social media. Social media detox is a very good way of improving your mental health. Just be with yourself, maybe read a good book, maybe go in nature, take a trip, take a break, and that is definitely going to help you improve your mental health. You will see a visible difference. Next possible way is taking therapy. Now in India, taking a therapy is not that prominent, and also it is very expensive considering that you're just a student right now. You might not have that much money for therapy. Okay, so if possible for you, you can go for therapy. Otherwise, you can also go for mentorship programs. Okay, so in mentorship program also you can discuss your difficulties with the mentor. Another extremely useful tip for improving mental health is working out. When you physically work out, maybe go for a walk, maybe join a gym, maybe join a dance class, maybe just do some skipping every single day. Not just is your body healthy, but it also releases hormones that make you feel happy. You feel like you can conquer the world. You feel more confident, more positive, happy, etc. Also, make sure that on a daily basis you are just engaging with nature. Okay, so you're around the plants and trees. You go outside in open air. Don't just sit in the same room every time to study, but also take some breaks. And if your exams are over, I would really recommend that you take a 1 week or 10 days break, go outside, go on a solo trip, explore yourself, explore your dreams and aspirations, talk to new people, make friends. It is really going to benefit you. It is going to make you feel a lot lighter. So these were all the tips to help you cure and help you be better at your mental health. And if you have any questions, please write them down in the comment section below. I would love to reply to those. Please share this video with your friends. It is going to help a lot of them. I'll see you again in another video. Bye-bye.